Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to Transatlantic Wrestling Talk. I am your host, as always, Andy, joined with my co-host, Dale. How are we doing, brother?
Hey, Andy. Good morning. Good morning to the internet. Good morning to YouTube. Good morning to Facebook, because I think we're live on there, and we appreciate everybody watching. So today, it's June. We're going to start off with the banging events that are going on with June, and these are King of the Rings. First one we had to attack because it actually goes hand in hand with actual King of the Ring style tournaments and the Owen Hart Cup, which just took place for AEW. You could say whatever criticism you want, but you can't take away the legacy of Owen Hart. And you might as well start this off with 1994, correct, sir?
And in my opinion, the best King of the Ring that ever was.
Yes. Are you talking about tournament wise, or you're talking about? Yeah. I mean, obviously, these tournaments are going to have their lulls, they're going to have their duds, but you're also going to have fantastic matchups. You're going to have a great final here, and we're going to go into everything. The main the main talking point here, though, is that we have Gorilla Monsoon on air, we have Macho Man on air, then we have the legendary. Hey, how much does this guy weigh? Art Donovan was a legendary football player for I think the Baltimore Colts at that time. And Gorilla Monsoon, right off the bat, they fucked this up. Gorilla Monsoon called him Art O'Donnell. So that just goes to show you how much they cared about it. And we're going to emphasize that as the night goes on. Were you scratching your head with this one, Andy?
Yeah. I didn't like that guy in there. I thought it was kind of two's company, three's a crowd type thing. You know, I never really liked the whole three man thing, and I didn't like it there either.
Yeah, I agree. And you could just look at Macho Man's face and Gorilla Monsoon's reaction later on. You could just see that they just do not care for this guy. But we open it up with a banger. Who are we starting out with, my friend?
We are starting out with the opening match of the tournament. We have Razor Ramon versus Bam Bam Bigelow. And I tell you what a great match to start off with. And number two, how good is Big Bam Bam as the big man? How good is he?
One of the most athletic people that have ever stepped into a ring, and I'll say that. And yes, you do have people that are huge, and you have people that are also tiny that could do a lot of acrobatics. We see that more so nowadays in current wrestling. But the main focus point here is the fact that how tall was Bam Bam? 6'7", 6'8", 300 pounds. Can work like a cruiserweight almost, practically. And just had the ability and the stamina as well.
And I love the way he always come out with his main squeeze.
Main squeeze. Yeah, Luna Vachon. Luna, we've talked about her. When we went into the 1994 WrestleMania, we actually spoke about Luna, and we saw Bam Bam face off against Doink, and that was probably one of the worst matches. But Bam Bam comes out, and he's ready to go against Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon at this point, I think, is about to go on to another Intercontinental run at this point. But right now, that's with Diesel. We'll get into that. But great match. Great match. Yeah. Do they have bad matches, these two?
No, I don't think they ever had a bad match. I think it was always just really, really good chemistry between the two of them. And you can't have really bad chemistry with Bam Bam, you know what I mean? He was just really, really good, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was just impressive to watch. And if you listen to a lot of interviews, they'll tell you about how Bam Bam really just got along with everybody he could and had so much respect in the locker room. I mean, even going to ECW, I think he knew that he could help out that company, and he did, and establish credibility and had a lot of friends, even going to WCW. I mean, I would really love to ask if, he really hated Goldberg. I think he did. I really think he did hate Goldberg at that point, just like you.
Yeah, I always hate Goldberg. It's my dad saying, "Hi, son." Hi, Hale. Saying, "Hope your family's well," and that, mate.
Hey, John. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for checking in.
Hope you're feeling all right, Dad. I'll give you a call once we're finished here today. Okie doke. So, yeah, the one thing I have got to say about this finish, though, is it was a bit, do you know what I mean? It wasn't the best of finishes.
Yeah, to the viewers or listeners at home, Bam Bam's going up top, and they thought they were actually going to go into a Razor's Edge type finish. Um, I liked it for the fact that you're not oversaturating it with the finishers. So what happened was Razor Ramon goes from behind, kind of hooks him for like a one-handed power slam or power bomb,
Mhm.
and scoops him like that from the top rope, and it looked like Bam Bam was stunned. Bam Bam sold it. I like that because you're not overdoing the finisher. The finisher is
Mm,
it's not just one spot of many, but in this case, they just said, hey, we have a tournament. Let's go. Let's not just
yeah.
everybody this. That was cool.
That's it. Do you know one thing that I said straight away on this was the fact is not just with this match, but the whole tournament. The way they done that tournament in Slamboree, where it was all over the place. This tournament was well paced and well done.
Yeah, yeah, you could tell it right. It's the two like differences in the
Mm,
company. I mean, Lethal Lottery will forever live in my heart as your favorite pay per view. But that was like around like, hey, let's go, let's keep the pace going. You could just tell they were trying to do a litmus test for what they could do differently, and that didn't really work out. Here, King of the Ring, this is the second year they were doing this, so it kind of helped out.
yeah.
But going into this, then we now in between, this is what we talk about, having a great TV product. You're having backstage segments.
Hmm.
This one was not good.
No.
So you have Erwin R. Shyster, who is the Fiend's dad.
Yeah.
Mike Rotunda is back there, and I'll get into his attire in a second, but he's ready to go off against Mabel. And I was reading something about Mabel. Let me tell you something. Mabel's there with Oscar, and the whole story with Mabel and how Oscar got basically a job, right?
Hmm.
He started rapping in front of Vince McMahon and stuff, and I was just reading some other things about them, and it's just very interesting because let me just look it up because I have it here. So what was the botch in the Erwin
It
R.
was
Shyster?
last night where he goes, I will beat you.
And
Uh,
And Mabel came out and he tried to like spit some bars, but you know what he should have just said? He said, we're men on a mission. Are you ready? We're men on a mission. Here we go in the house. Men on our mission. Bam, bang, boom. Here we go. Do it all. No. How
yeah.
come you've never caught on? Every single time that we talk about Mabel, I have to bring that up.
Hmm.
You have not caught on.
No.
We watch any type of these videos that we do. I've done this every single time.
Yeah. What is it though? Because I don't know.
It's the Men on the Mission theme song.
Oh no, I know that. Yeah.
I've been singing it. I've been singing it to you for almost a year,
Yeah,
and
no,
you have
yeah.
no idea.
No, I know it's Men on the Mission, but it's something that I just try to ignore because I ignored the theme song when it was out as well.
You ignore the white people doing this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
this match was dreadful. The ending was awful, and I don't understand how Erwin R. Shyster can actually wrestle in that shirt and tie and continue to go on to the next
I know. I
match.
tell you what, he's done all right though, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? And one thing you'll see with Mike Rotunda, he was always a solid worker in the ring.
But yeah, solid or not, you and I work in a corporate atmosphere.
Hmm.
Would you ever think about going to the gym with a fucking suit on
Oh God,
and
no.
working out with the suit?
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't even have the jacket and he's sweating profusely. It's disgusting.
But let me ask you this then: would you prefer IRS's attire or Wall Street's?
Give me the singlet all day.
Do you reckon? Oh no! Oh no!
He looked weird in the singlet.
He just didn't look right in the singlet.
You know what? You and I wouldn't look right in singlet. Maybe, I don't know.
I think I can pull it
It's
off.
because probably, depending on the color.
I'd have to get a big sock for the front.
Tube socks. Do you want me to ship you over? I don't know if you have baseball over there, but I could ship you over the baseball socks that they have, like
Yeah.
stirrups and stuff. Yeah, Pipers. So anyway, yeah, this match was just the roll up was probably the worst I've ever seen in my life, and
It was, but did you see? Do you know with this one? Yeah, right. What did you notice any familiarities between the finish and another match?
later on in the card.
No, no, no.
Oh, the one prior?
Yeah, no, not even on this card.
No, what are you talking about?
So when Mabel falls off the top rope and he gets the roll up, what was that finish? Think about matches in wrestling history around that time period.
Oh, Brett Yoko.
It's
Yeah.
exactly the same finish.
Money. I didn't even think about that, man. That's
It's
funny.
exactly the same finish. Not much difference
Jeez.
in that at all. But, you know, it's one of them, isn't it? I don't mind them recycling things as long as they don't use it over and over. But
Okay, but I guess it's, copying is the sincerest form of flattery, I guess. So it's
well,
like,
that's it. But the one thing is with the Yoko and Mabel, because they're so big fellas, the fact that they crash and burn like that and then just get rolled up, it's realistic to me. Because if them two did jump or fall from somewhere like that, it's gonna hurt them because of the size of them.
yeah. But it's
You
just the
know,
fact that IRS, look, IRS has a pedigree background of like mat wrestling. Rotunda does. You mean to tell me he couldn't at least try to hook a leg? Or you know what? I'm blaming Mabel. That was fucking Mabel's fault. That was
and
Big
then
Daddy V. Big Daddy V's fault.
well, IRS he goes ahead in this one, goes
Thank
into
God.
the next round. Really, really happy with that. Then we move on to our next one. We had Owen Hart versus Tatanka in a really good match. And do you know what? In this time period, I love Tatanka.
Yeah. Crowd was behind him. He had wasn't an underdog. He had an undefeated streak for a long time
He
too.
did.
And I think who killed it? Was that Sean?
Sean was the one who beat him there.
Sean beat him. Yeah, it was just, Tatanka had a lot going for him. I mean, wasn't really the greatest, as far as moves go and, the wrestling fact. It was just like, same things. Chop, chop, fake mountain Indian Native American Hulk up thing going on,
Yeah.
and then you have on the other side the legend, and
Mhm.
it's like at this point, by the way, Art Donovan has asked every single time somebody enters the ring how much they weigh. And you hear, Macho Man going, "Oh, he's about 230." Yeah. And then, afterwards it would just be like, "Get this fucking guy out of here."
I tell you one thing that I will say in this match is this is though Owen Hart looks the best that he looked in this match. Like health wise, he looks so healthy. He looks so good.
Yeah, you'll see it later on. We're not going to give anything away, folks, but he might win this tournament, and he might be standing there with the greatest power pose in the world. Yeah, they missed the boat on how amazing he was. And I love the fact, I might be the minority here. I love the fact that he never won a world title. We could call this show actually, and I don't have a problem with it. We could call this
I
show
think
the
around
Owen.
this time he could have won the world championship.
He was so close though, and he
Yeah.
had great cage matches. He had fantastic matches against his brother. So this would actually, and we'll get into it later on, but I think it just told a better story here. I think a lot of these guys that don't win titles tell better stories.
Yeah.
Are you gonna look at Kofi Kingston as a fantastic world champion?
No.
You're gonna forget that he was even a champion.
That's it.
That
But
was cool.
I do believe that Owen could have carried that belt. I always think with the likes of Kofi and Big E was another one in modern day, just to be as an example, is you put the belt on them, okay, what's next? That's what they haven't figured out. Where with Owen, there was so many different things he could have done with that belt.
Yeah. He had an alignment with his brother-in-law, Natty's dad. He had an alignment with he had a great storyline with Brett that was natural, and we talked about it when we talked about WrestleMania 10. You were absolutely right, 110%. And if somebody disagrees, please. If he had won the belt, I think booking decisions, before Vince Russo, could have been endless for this guy. We could actually easily call this show the Owen Hart Memorial Show.
Definitely.
It's just, we love it.
This is his coming out party, isn't it? By far.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, like where they said during the Attitude Era that he struggled because of the characters and all like that. Well, not if they were to put this '94 character in play, it would have still done the same job. And after I think after the screw job, they missed out on a trick by not getting behind him.
And they've stuck him with feuding with Triple H because Shawn would have just embarrassed him, which they tried to do with the whole Nugget thing. It's just stupid, and it's like this guy, why do you need to slap a gimmick on this guy? You
Mm,
know, that's like they kind of made fun of that. And I'll bring up something. You remember Al Snow with Steve Blackman?
head cheese.
The joke was, well, what's Steve's gimmick? And Steve didn't
Mm,
need a gimmick, but they played along the lines of, hey, let's just put, have him wear cheese head. And it was funny because it was stupid, because I think it's like a wink to the crowd saying, this guy doesn't need a gimmick. He's so damn good.
yeah.
But you didn't need a gimmick with Owen,
No.
and that's why you had a wrestling feud. And we're going to talk about him next with Jeff Jarrett
Mm-hmm.
in 98. And it was like, it made sense because here's two guys that love the business, ended up working with each other and then worked against each other. And it was just fantastic. But we're going to go into the next match.
Yeah.
Owen
Well,
wins.
Owen wins this one with a roll up again.
Yeah. What did I tell you? You
Yeah.
don't need to keep doing the finishers over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Next match, you got you have 1, 2, 3 Kid looking great against Jeff Jarrett. I think this is Jeff's first run with the company.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff's going to end up coming in here. No horse yet. Might have a horse. I'm not sure.
No.
There's a lot of good things going on because Jeff, has this mind. He's born in the business. He's bred into the business. He just knows how to sell. There's no wasted effort as far as a facial expression goes. It'll continue to TNA, WCW TNA, all that stuff. But then it just became more revolved around him somehow. What's the phrase? Broke 1,000 guitars, never sold a dime.
Yeah.
Never drew a dime. Never drew a dime.
And he always says he was in the NWO, which Conrad Thompson always says he wasn't. So it's quite interesting. But no, I like Double J. Double J was brilliant. And you know what? The one thing that I thought is in this match, they done really well. And it was something that they done well with the kid across all this kind of time periods where he didn't just beat somebody with a finisher or whatever. There was always some kind of shock to him winning a match.
Yeah.
There was always some kind of like roll up, or he'd sneak a win somehow, but he'd always get there in the end. And it was kind of like I loved the way that he booked him.
Yeah, if you really thought about it, what was his finisher?
Didn't have one.
Exactly. And you don't hear that anymore. I mean, it was it in Sega Genesis WWE Raw. If he had the special move, he would jump from turnbuckle to turnbuckle, and you'd hear it go boing. Boing. He couldn't do that in this one. It was like the coast to coast before the coast to coast.
Yeah.
Long story short, though, he actually pulls out the win against Jeff. Jeff does a great thing here for storytelling through the night. Great TV.
Yeah.
He ends up kicking the crap out of him after the match. The referee's trying to get involved, and he's just nonstop taking the boots to the kid. No pun intended. And it's just showing like, oh, right, well, Owen's going to face that winner. So 1, 2, 3 Kid, sure, you have an out right there. 1, 2, 3 Kid is injured. So Owen, it doesn't have to be a crazy back and forth match to where it's like, oh, I can't believe 1, 2, 3 Kid lost clean.
Yeah.
Well, he lost clean, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But your storytelling for the night, that's all you need to do. Something that a Lethal Lottery didn't do.
That's it. And as you said, 1, 2, 3 gets the win here, and then afterwards, Jeff Jarrett, power driver, jumping off the top at him, real good heel work. And also it sets up for the fact of Owen to kind of go in against a not 100% 1, 2, 3 Kid.
Give me one person you think today should have the pile driver as their finisher.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Butch,
I know.
Give it to Butch.
Nice. That's cool. Isn't it the flapjack? I think it'd be more the flapjack pile driver.
Yeah.
You know who I could see using it and probably should use it as their finish? MJF.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with him next. But anyway, let's get on. We go into our next match, Razor Ramon versus IRS. Again, really, really good match. Really solid match. They only actually get 5 minutes 30 in here, but they get a lot in them 5 minutes.
Yeah. At this point, Art Donovan wants to know why why IRS is wrestling in his suit. Macho Man is ready to backslap him. I'm gonna put a link there, guys. There's a condensed OSW version of everything Art Donovan says. I suggest you watch it because it's probably one of the funniest things you could ever say. I'm not lying. I am not lying. I was literally cracking up at the end of this pay-per-view because of it. Really good match. Razor Ramon is just, you could tell he's kind of like, hey, this is my second match. I'm laboring. Not everybody's a marathon man like they are today, not selling everything. The art of the sell is what you need to do. You remember that imagery of Brett coming out limping during a pay-per-view, I guess against Jerry Lawler, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how you dictate the program, dictate the level of success stories for somebody to win a tournament. And you'll see that too later on. It's a great match, as far as it's quick, it's easy. This is exactly what we need to do. Razor with the win at that point. Right choice here, sending Razor to the finals.
Yes, 110%. 110%. I think he was definitely the one to go through to the final. I think it makes it more believable when Owen wins it and whatnot. It was definitely the right move. Great finish as well. He used his finisher here, got his finisher in for the night. Good win. And then we move on to our... Sorry, go on.
I got to shout it out to Nick. How much does that guy weigh? You guys used to like that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Look who's in the chat.
Yeah, there it is. How much does that guy weigh?
How we doing, Nicholas? How we doing, buddy?
That's our wrestle buddy. That's our wrestle buddy, bro.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, we got that going on. But then the next match is very interesting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's one that I loved here. I thought this was a great match, great setup for everything. Big Daddy Cool Diesel, Intercontinental Champion. Bret Hart, WWE Champion. WWF Champion. In the corner of Diesel.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, we are. Sorry, we've missed out the match here.
I'm gonna fight you. For the love of Art Donovan. Yeah.
This match actually comes, guys, on the thingy before the Razor Ramon IRS match, so I do apologize.
That's okay. Look, I'm sure they will make up for it. We'll make up for it here. Anyway, Brett's got Sean. He's kind of in the tangled here. They're always lingering around each other. Okay. Sean is in the corner of Diesel. Brett says, I need backup. Holy crap. It's
just before we get to that part, though, did you see the bit at the beginning where Diesel's walking to the ring and Sean's right in front of him, facing the camera, moving around like that? Really good work.
Yeah. Look, these guys knew. They had guidance backstage, to do the right thing. I just think it's really, a great storytelling moment there. It's long-term booking without even trying to do that. Sean's going to be around. They knew this, and Sean didn't even need to have a match, and he still had his presence felt. During the match, did you love the fact that they were kind of playing wild goose chase with each other?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. And Sean running through the ring?
Yeah.
They just kind
of got that little right in there with the side. Sometimes you can get these people who are outside the ring or kind of with them who can take away from the match itself. Where this is how to do it properly, where it adds to the match rather than takes away from it.
And I like the term equalizer. A lot of times it does make sense when they do that. It's like, hey, you got your backup, I got mine. Although it was like kind of like, hey, Diesel doesn't really need backup, but here's a guy to watch over his shoulder and help make sure that that he doesn't get screwed out of losing or winning, I should say. Great match here. Great match. Ask Kevin Nash. He says that his best match is against Brett. His best match was definitely against Brett, Survivor Series 95, something I'll remember forever. I mean, at that point, we'll probably get to that too. Not sure. Actually, didn't we visit the whole year of 95?
We did at one, but yeah, when we used to do
Yes.
this year in wrestling.
Yeah, so just fantastic here. Diesel is full on mullet at this point. Sean's got fantastic mullet. Didn't go into the braid yet. We'll see that a year later. That's your fashion update. Little bit of crap. Yeah, I agree there, Nick. It is definitely second best match without a doubt there. I would like to clarify though. I think that the best part about this match is the fact that it still made Diesel look strong. It didn't make Brett look weak when Anvil came in and said, "Man, fuck this. I'm just gonna hit him," and
Yeah.
Brett ended up getting, pissed off about it too, keeping that babyface persona that will continue for
Well,
years and
it
years
just
later.
shows you, as we always say, sometimes screw finishes can be good if they are done correctly. And in this particular circumstance, it was done correctly. It was done very well.
Let me just point this out. If you were to put in anything from Smoky Mountain, from any Jim Crockett promotion on a Saturday night, like a main featured Saturday night, you would see this stuff.
Yeah.
This would be normal. This is like, and this is something that we've strayed away from, I think, a little too much because it's overbooking. You don't need that. Like maybe to get the guy to lose, just have a manager or somebody else on the outside, just grab a leg if he's coming off the rope. Now it's just, I got to hit him in the head with a trash can that's on fire that has 9,000 pounds worth of barbed wire on it.
Yeah, where's my knee pads with the 50 million staples in and whatnot?
Yeah. I'm not gonna blame the people that are doing that for a living now. I'll blame the people that are in wrestling that are successful now. It's not just the Young Bucks, man. It's John Moxley too. It's come on. We've been calling it out, and even before he went to rehab, we said he's been mailing it in. He's been terrible, and I'm watching him now. When he first got back from rehab, he looked better physically and in the ring. Now this is garbage. I hate this. I
know he's going to be the interim champion, but oh well. Let's move on anyway. So Diesel wins this match by disqualification. Obviously, it'll further on his feud with Brett, and obviously he's got the side note to Shawn, which comes out at some point. Then we move on to Owen Hart versus the 1-2-3 kid in the semi-finals. Again, they only got 3 minutes 37 for this match, but really, really solid while it was there.
Owen's attacking the weaknesses. The end of the match is not to go. It's 3 minutes, so you know what's going to happen. But the fact that he slaps the sharpshooter on 1-2-3 kid, and while winning the match, Owen is raising his hand and has the hand up as the bell is ringing. Holding on to the move and just raising that up. It just looked great. Yeah. Like it's so aesthetically pleasing seeing just Owen bask in the glory because he knows it at this point. Yeah, it is Janela's fault too with the flaming kick. He's just basking in the glory of, look, I'm better than my brother. I know it. I proved it to you guys. Why is he the one? And look at me. I'm higher on the card. Awesome stuff. It's quick. Part of that storytelling, though, it's not just Coliseum home video footage, which I love the fact that Peacock does. The network did throw in there. You're going to see stuff in the back like we forgot to touch on this. Razor Ramon and IRS were caught in the back and being separated by officials like right before their match. Like, hey, they're getting antsy. They really want to win this because you're creating a feel of how important it is to be the King of the Ring winner. And I'd like to thank Xavier Woods too for stressing that. I mean, last year when they did the tournament, I love the fact that he was like, I want to be it. And he deserved it. He deserved it because it's legitimacy. It's not just, I'm going to wear a crown. Look at Booker T. Booker T's career, went off after that. We talked about it last week.
That's it. Well, as he said, Nick says, my favourite night in Owen's career. It was a big night for him, because without this win, we wouldn't have had the whole Owen versus Brett matches that we had, which I thought, were just absolutely fantastic. It gave Owen a chance to pop out from Brett's shadow. It was great all in all, but let's get to the final anyway. So in this one, Owen hits the powerbomb, gets the sharpshooter. Great win. Bang. We're on to the finals. But again, what they didn't do in the stupid Slamboree, is we had a little break. We had a break before the final. So we had a break before the semis. We had a break before the final, and that was at the Head Shrinkers versus Crush and Yokozuna. This makes more sense to me now after Undertaker's Hall of Fame speech. He said about Crush being one of his best mates, and obviously Crush was Yoko's friend, and they kind of got together here and stuff like that. Great little promo that he had in the back with Fuji and Cornette before this match as well. And it wasn't mad at the match either. It was a good match. And one thing I liked about this is, just so you know, guys, at the end of the match, they get it's count out, isn't it? They lose by count out.
Yeah, it makes sense here. I mean, you got the big guys. That's you got the big foreign menacing heels, even though Kona Crush was from Hawaii, and that's not really foreign, but okay. Crush is Crush is a I think he might be a first ballot Hall of Famer for the Transatlantic Wrestling Talk Show. So that award show will be coming up at some point, I'm sure.
Around WrestleMania next year.
Yeah. We should, that'll be planned, guys. So you'll be on the lookout for that and voting and everything. Crush has defected over to Japan. We saw him face Macho Man in the Falls Count Anywhere match, where Macho Man tied him up and then ran back to the ring to win. They're taking on babyface head shrinkers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is not something that you really remember. How do you make head shrinkers babyface? Just throw in Captain Lou.
Yeah. And
so my great aunt
sprinkle a bit of Lex Luger.
My great aunt went to high school with Captain Lou.
Bloody hell.
Yeah,
crazy.
No rubber bands. Yeah, you're right. You're gonna ruin it by just having Lex come out there and not even know how to put himself over.
Yeah. Well, the finish comes when Lex comes out. He distracts. Samu gets the pin. Samu attempts the pin, doesn't get it that time, and then the roll-up comes in from Fatu for the win.
It was weird. Yeah. That was quick. Yeah. I literally went to the kitchen after I saw the kick out or the failed roll-up attempt, grabbed a snack, and then the match was over.
Yeah, 9 minutes 16 it was all together. Which is crazy because the 0-1-2-3 Kid match seemed longer than this.
It did.
But in a good way.
Yeah, in a joyful way. This was just like, and no offense to both of these teams, but there was just like weird spot on the card. Like, I'm surprised. It's like, why isn't Brett and Diesel on there? Which kind of makes sense though.
Yeah, it's more of a let me up match, isn't it?
It is, but I think the main event could be the let me out match too. I don't know.
Got to remember that the draw of Piper is different, isn't it? But anyway, let's get to the final. So just one thing I did want to mention as well, which I thought was really cool, is when the baby faces are all in the ring at the end of the match, and Crush jumps in and starts trying to fight with them all. You know what I mean? And on the commentary, I think it was Macho turns out and goes, "Crush won't take this from nobody." Do you know what I mean? And he just gets in there. I thought that was really cool.
How much does that guy weigh?
Oh, God, I don't know. Right, let's move on to the next one anyway. So we've got the final of the King of the Ring. Owen Hart defeated Razor Ramon in 6 minutes 35, which I was a bit upset about here because I think the final match should have been longer than any other match within the tournament, but it wasn't. It was actually shorter. The longest match on the card was Razor versus Bigelow at the beginning, 8 minutes 24. But as the show goes on, I suppose they might have had more time put aside for it, but things happen in a live show, so I get it. But Owen defeated Razor, gets the win, becomes King of the Ring, and we're off to the races, aren't we, Dale?
Yeah, it's just, what's going to happen after that. The legacy in itself is built. It's been building for a while. It's established at that point, and he is the best in the world. At that point. I like the fact that it was a little bit shorter because you could tell these are two guys that just had two matches. I mean, you had one that fought Bam Bam Bigelow. The next one fought a guy in a suit without a jacket, I should say. And it's just, he probably stunk. Razor probably smelled it.
Well, Anvil makes the save. It does cost the match here as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I bet you when Anvil touches him with all that sweaty hair. Ugh.
It's probably just looked like just red pubes like all around Razor's chest at that point.
Yeah, I just wish someone would go back in time. I just want to watch a match where someone kicks him in the dick.
So he doesn't have Natty.
Mm.
He could no. No. They could have the sister.
Yeah, the
Just like
sister's
Big E
all right.
did. Just
Yeah.
like Big E did, right?
Well, Owen wins, obviously, thanks to the distraction from Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And then we have the, which you can see in our
Coronation.
thumbnail. Yeah.
Yeah. The coronation ceremony was just fantastic when Owen grabs the mic and tells Pettengill to get on his knee. Shout out to Todd Pettengill for being fantastic. Todd Pettengill was probably the most underrated announcer. I'm sorry, backstage commentator ever. He had enthusiasm in everything he did, and had that look of the camera of, oh, and it was just, and that was how he did it, because he sold too, and he didn't come. I'm sorry, somebody's got to remind me. He never came from that background. I remember him.
No, he was sport,
there.
wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a DJ here. He's a DJ in New York.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, he's a radio. He does. I'm not sure if he does WPLJ anymore, but you would hear him, Scott and Todd in the morning. And I told you, I think I showed you a screenshot where Cornette wrote back to me and said, "I love Todd. Todd was great. We called him the Toddster," and they even Monsoon called him the Toddster.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. I never heard it. I never heard it. There's, before this last match, I'll get into it, but I love how Anvil has to knight Owen.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a thing?
I also like the way he done after the match where he's on the heart attack as well.
Oh, that was great. But you heard Macho,
nice
that was the heart attack.
Yeah.
That was the heart attack.
I thought that was a nice touch.
It was like, hey, screw Brett. We're going to do it ourselves. It was.
Yeah.
So when they do the knighting with the scepter, do they do that to a king?
No. That's say.
Why did Anvil do that?
It's because you fucking Americans. That's what it is. These aren't regal enough.
Good. You know what? Look at my tattoos came from a fucking cereal box. I don't care if I'm regal, okay? Oh, man. But yeah, the whole ceremony, just, I think Owen looked fantastic with the crown. Yeah.
My Union Jack.
Good. You could just jack off out of here. We don't. You're right. Absolutely.
Well, you just don't get royalty. They don't at all, do they, Nicholas?
Look,
we live regal enough.
Wait, look, we drink Miller High Life. That's the champagne of beers, okay?
Let's not forget they're just a bunch of rebels. Let's not forget that.
Come on, you guys. You guys can't get over our breakup. All right, get on with it.
But yeah, no, really good segments here. I know they're dull night and that, but it's entertainment. That's what it's all about. You've got to make it more than what it is, you know. So it's really, really good. And then we come to the bad, but the good as well. It's a good match.
Yeah, it's theatrics. Okay. I got to point out,
it was a long match, second longest on the card.
I got to point out before they get into the match, though, and the pieces about it. Yeah, I see your flag. Good. So before they get into the match, there's one point where Monsoon and Macho Man are talking with each other, and the camera's focused on them. And Art Donovan is right next to them. And Macho Man and Macho and Gorilla are talking about how Razor Ramon just lost. Art Donovan just says, "Hey, guys, you guys used to like that stuff?" Macho Man looks at him and just does this, like, "I'm gonna fucking hit you." and it was probably the best. It was probably the best response, because Gorilla Monsoon just went into talking about the next match afterwards.
Yeah.
And there's Art Donovan. Art Donovan just does this. Go back and watch it. It's probably one of the funniest things you could ever see.
Well, one thing I want to say straight away with this match, the next match, it was a good little match. What you'd expect from two veterans to come through. How good did Roddy Piper look, though? With the six-pack, the best shape he's been in his whole career.
best shape, and that's because of the movie stuff. You
Mm,
know, look, he definitely mended fences back with Vince. Vince said, told him, because if I'm not sure if you understand the whole story, but
mhm.
Carpenter calls up and he says, "I want you for They Live," and Vince says, "Well, big boy, we could get you a movie." And then Piper goes, "No, that's not how's that happening." So he told him, "Look, we're gonna get They Live." Goes to do They Live, then goes to do the other movies. Does Lords of Frogtown, terrible, and Jerry Lawler lets it be known how bad of an actor he thinks Roddy Piper is. And I'll never. This is probably the first time I've ever seen anybody mail in videotapes of their promos.
Yeah,
Yeah, to WWE to use.
yeah.
So the backstage packages are: here is Lawler on Raw making fun of Roddy Piper, brings out this anorexic Make-A-Wish kid, who I have no idea who that is, and that represents as Roddy Piper. And then you have Piper sending in videotapes with 9 different facial hairs
Mhm.
styles throughout the time. And it's just like, "Oh, I can't believe you made fun of my movie career. I can't believe you made fun of my goatee. Now you're making fun of Make-A-Wish kids. I'm coming to fight you, Jerry."
Yeah, and that's what he done.
That's the story, folks.
Yeah.
That's the story, folks. Coliseum Home Video, I think probably a third of the way through this whole pay-per-view, caught up with
Mm,
Roddy Piper.
yeah.
And it was probably the weirdest interview I've ever seen in my life. Piper talks about how, "Oops, we walked in on him on a wrong time. We wanted to see that. I don't know."
Mm,
Just really weird stuff going on. You could watch it again, guys. It's
yeah.
no secret. This match was very territory like. These are
Yeah.
two guys that you could tell came from the territory and milked the crowd. And that's what they want. That's what they came to do.
Mhm.
Jerry went in there, and I think he got his first offensive move in 7 minutes into the match.
Yeah. Well, Piper got the win and sent the crowd home happy, so I've got no issue with that whatsoever.
No, no.
But it was really, really good.
Back body drop to win the match.
Yeah.
That's a real thing with a slow count from the referee. That happened. That's how we close out a pay-per-view. Roddy Piper lifts the Make-A-Wish Foundation kid on his shoulder like it's Miss Elizabeth.
Hmm. That's it. And just a couple of honourable mentions here as well. Is obviously we're talking about the King of the Ring pay per view, but just before we sign off, do you remember the first round matches?
As far as this match, this
So
pay-per-view.
this pay per view, yeah. So the King of the Ring qualifying matches.
No.
So
And I did
they did have qualifying matches. Okay.
I did I will contend that qualifying matches are not part of a tournament.
No,
If
they're
you're
not, but I think it's an honourable mention, and it'll be a
Thank
good
you.
little game. This Razor Ramon beat Quang,
Deservedly so.
yeah, in
They're
the
best
first
friends,
round.
aren't they? Aren't they best friends?
Yeah, and then you've got Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Fairman Plug.
Sparky. They were the
Mm,
dark match. The dark match was Sturman Plug against Quang.
yeah, it was. And then we had Mabel. He beat Pierre Quillette.
PCO, baby.
Yeah. And then we had Erwin R. Scheitzer, or IRS, beat Scott Steiner. And we had Owen Hart. Who do you think Owen beat?
Rick?
Joey the Clown.
Oh, okay.
Tatanka beat Crush.
Buffalo.
1-2-3 Kid beat my good friend, Mr. Adam Bomb. And then Double J beat Lex Luger. But Lex Luger come out in the head shrinkers match.
There's a score to settle there with Yoko.
Yeah.
I lifted you up.
Yeah.
You
You fucked my push, you prick.
This guy couldn't even lift it. He literally, I sent you a picture of him lifting a baby. That was the only push he could do for a baby face.
He couldn't push his shit.
Well, now he can't.
Mm.
Oh, I'm so bad.
No, we reap what we sow. That's why I got no. I think he's the only person on planet Earth that I don't feel sorry for.
Just
because
weird,
he
man.
reaps what he sows. But
So
anyway, go
he's going to be at WrestleCon next year, so I can't wait for you to have that picture with him.
on, like that, the MGF picture. But
How much does
No.
that guy weigh?
no, I wouldn't fucking. I tell you what, mate, I wouldn't even pay the money to go and meet that Lex Luger because I wouldn't want to put no money in his pocket. Scumbag. Well, anyway, guys, that was King of the Ring 1994. Let us know in the comments what you think. Really,
It was a
really solid pay-per-view. It was one of the best pay-per-views of that era, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. It's a joy to watch. It could bring smiles, especially, you know, people around our age. This is when we were really getting into the business. Watching it, I should
Oh, we
say.
were in nine?
Yeah,
9-year-old?
I was going on 10. Yeah, I didn't find my yet, so
Yeah.
or what to do with it. So still don't know. I'm gonna give this pay-per-view a 7.5.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I'll tell you why. All right.
Yeah.
Now the finale was but I love seeing Piper. That was great. Yeah, it was definitely my favorite King of the Ring too there, Nick. I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Just watching, I like the fact that even though Anvil didn't have a match, they still made him like, hey, Owen has a buddy now. And Owen said, this is my favorite family member. And that was a nice establishment there. Another key point to take away there was the fact that Razor just looked great. Razor was a legend. He was an unspoken hero, even though he lost the tournament. And I love the fact that this was a smaller arena in Baltimore, and you had a feel of a very territory-like type of style and days. I appreciate that. And I love the fact that this was just a fun event. And Brett didn't win, but he still looked great, you know, especially against this big dude, and made Kevin Nash Diesel look great too. 7.5, and Owen Hart's fantastic. Owen Hart was wonderful.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, guys, let us know in the comments what you think, and we'll be back next week with another belter. Any ideas what you think it's going to be next week, Taylor? It's my turn to pick, isn't it?
It's going to be the month of June, isn't it? Look, remember, okay, Lethal Lottery was May. Remember that, okay? So we have to stick with that whole theme.
We have to
all
move
right?
on. No, I'm going to go with a good one. So I'm going to tell you straight away, I'm going to go with King of the Ring 98.
Wow. Okay.
So I want to go back and watch Foley fly again.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. So.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, join us next week for King of the Ring 1998, guys. But from me and Dale, until then, take care and stay healthy.
And we are men on a mission.
Always on a mission.
Boom, boom.